Here we are with a 7.5 by 15-inch piece of cloth for a mask. I have zigzagged the short ends of the material. Now I will double them inside out. Put the seams together and make sure it's squared up. Now I'm going to stitch 1.5 inch opening in 1.5 inches. Then I will extend and go break for the HEPA insert on the mask, and then another 1.5 inches here. I'll do that right now while you're watching. Moved over to the ironing board, removing the threads. I'm going to press the seam, making sure that it's completely flat. Now we're going to do the side seams right now while we've got it. I'll flip this over and show you how I figured out how to do that. This is how I do it. I just turn it at either end. Stretch it out and then press it down. Okay, flip it over, do the same. Make sure the seams are straight. Okay, I've pressed all the applicable parts at this point. Back at the sewing machine, here's the opening for the HEPA filter. You can see my finger coming out through there. What we're going to do next is we're going to stitch along the edge of the seam, the opening. Hope that's clear. I do this inside out. Try to hold my hand so that you can see it. I want a little bit of skew here. But I'm going to go all the way from one end to the other. I want to make sure that I've got the edge tacked down. That's important. Turn and go back. Now on the return, when I get to the opening for the HEPA filter, I'm going to drift across. I'm going to stitch across the opening so that it holds it in place, and then back, and then continue on. Turn it right side out. And then take a look at it. Looks okay. Now here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to go back over and press this on the ironing board. When I come back, this will all be flat. This is where you have to make a decision. Since I'm putting this wire into this channel, so this is where your nose will go, right in here against this. This is the inside of the mask. There's the opening for the HEPA filter. Opening for the HEPA filter. So I'm going to, when I come back, stitch all of this together, but I'm going to leave an opening on this side so that I can slide in the 14 gauge wire for a nose piece. If you want to use foil, then you might want to make this just a little bit bigger so that you have an easy slide. You can slide it in easier. That's up to you. Back in a second after I iron it. Okay, we're back. Now this is, once again, you're looking at the HEPA pocket. And what we're going to do here is this. We're going to stitch across this side and go down. You'll see me do that while we put the straps in. In this case, today it's going to be elastic. But before we do that, I want to make a channel on the right-hand side of the inside so that I can slide in my nose piece. So eventually we'll have two channels here. But in order to do that, what I discovered is once you put it in there, if you get it lost in there and you try to get it out, it can slide inside the seam and be difficult to get out. So what I'm going to do is, along here where it'll ride in here, I'm going to put 2 stitches this way to hold that seam down. You'll see right now as I do that. So I've ironed it. Now I'm just going to flip it up. Let me do this here so you can see it better. I'm doing it backwards because I know this is not the right way to, this is not the way it's made to do, but I'm doing that so you can see it better. All the loose threads are gone. Now we're back, folded it, put it back together. We're about ready to construct the whole darn thing here. So you can see, maybe, if I do this correctly, you can, you can't, yeah, you can see that little brown, those two brown stitches. That's where I'll slide the either aluminum foil or metal or whatever you're going to use for a nose guard. Now we'll complete the stitching of the I start on the what'll be the closed end, the left-hand side, as you're looking at the inside of it. So the far side from where I just stitched here. I'm going to show you this better. So I just stitched over here. I put that next to me, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a seam right along here, as you shall see. Make the turn. Before I slide this down, I'm going to take my neck piece. I'm going to put it, or not neck piece, but head piece, head strap. I'm going to slide it in here. And I'm sliding it at a slight angle from the top so that I generally put one fingernail's length out, 2 fingers over, and then width of 2 fingers over, and then 1 nail up. And that's where I put the end of the strap. Forget this again. Okay, I'm just going to grab this. I was watching the camera. Okay, now I've got a neck piece to slide in. A little bit easier with this stuff rather than the straps that I've been using. making sure the elastic strap is straight. I'm going to put it in place and sew it in. Here we go. Okay, the final stretch. Only thing left to do is put the pleats in it. Ta-da!